Hello my Wolfpack and welcome to a not really reaction video because I have already seen this, but a very exciting video. Now you'll notice that I am still in my work clothes. Basically, you know, you should be dressed up for this event because this is something fantastic. Something that I did not expect, 100% did not expect there to be in the Pokemon Presents today. I think we all anticipated there would be some kind of new game. That new game, I think a lot of people were predicting was going to be a Let's Go Johto. It was going to be a Gen 5 remake. It was going to be Legends for Johto or for Gen 5 Unova. But actually, what they've done is completely thrown it out into the absolute abyss and completely fluked us all. They have brought Legends back, which, you know, I absolutely love playing Legends. I would say that is my favourite Pokemon game in general. But yeah, you're here to watch this video. Let's watch this video together, and then I'm going to talk about my thoughts and opinions. I will pause it at points and probably have a little bit of a chat with you guys. Now, I think it's really interesting how they've presented this, so confidential. And kind of the idea that, you know, this is a confidential thing. That symbol in the top corner, I don't know if that has any relevance to anything. I can't recall there being anything looking like that in the past. But I have a feeling that up in this top corner, that yellow symbol is going to mean something. Potentially it's going to be similar to what are the Team Galaxy, I can't remember what they're called. I was about to say Gaga Galaxy, but I'm pretty sure that's a Yu-Gi-Oh card. But yeah, the Team Galaxy in Legends Arceus, I'm pretty sure that's probably going to be the same symbol as for them. It's going to be to do with the Improvement Project in some way, shape or form. A vision of beautiful coexistence between people and Pokemon. Now, what's really interesting is start off with kind of this sort of older style design. It reminds me very much of the original 101 Dalmatians, the animated version. It reminds me of kind of the style of those houses, but it transgresses into something fantastic. And I just... Oh, hold on. If we just kind of... There we go. So we see this symbol again. This symbol is obviously going to be important in some way, shape or form. It's probably going to be like revealed later on. I haven't actually looked at this in full detail, but yeah, and it looks like, I don't know, it kind of looks like we're in a VR sort of era with this happening. So kind of this looks like a built up futuristic sort of situation. And I do wonder, and it looks like a like we're in a network. You know, typically how they will show when someone goes, like, you know, into the internet or something like that. This is typically the kind of style they'll do it in, like things like Tron and stuff like that. And I'm just really kind of curious as to, is this a futuristic one where we're going to go into the future and are there going to be implications with that? Or is it a case that we are going into the past? Or is it a case that we're going to go into multiple different eras? I don't know, but it's really interesting to see kind of this design here. Now, immediately you see both forms of Pyroar, so the female and the male form there. There are a few others. I think there's some Litleos around here as well. I think there was a Tyrunt there as well. What I will do is I will go back through this kind of in a little bit more detail afterwards. These are just my initial thoughts on here. It looks like we've got some kind of Salon here with some Flabébés, a Klefki, and a Furfrou. With its design in there. Now, is that a design we've seen before? I am not sure. I never really pay attention to the Furfrou designs, but that could be a cafe or it could be a salon. In fact, it probably looks more like a cafe now that I look at it in more kind of detail. So yeah, this is kind of a cafe with some different Pokemon in. And then you've got some Fletchlings in the back there, and you can see in the bottom there that Blumon is a Dragonair by the looks of it. There's a Hawlucha, and it looks like someone's trying to catch that Dragonair. So it looks like potentially the catch mechanic is back. There are two kind of yellowy things in there. I'm not quite sure what Pokemon they could be. And there's another one there as well, kind of to the right of the Gyarados. You can see kind of just next to the bridge there. There's a Hippopotas over the side there. So there's loads and loads of different Pokemon here, which is actually really, really interesting to see all of these Pokemon already that we know are going to end up being in the game. And actually, yeah, I even saw just an Ekans in there. Yeah, I think in a minute I'm going to have to go through, I'm going to have to write down every single Pokemon that I've seen in this video, because there are tons of Pokemon in here. I mean, the fact that you've got, I'm pretty sure that's a Pyro, no, there's a Furfrou right in the background there as well. And is that potentially even a Jangmo behind it? I think that's wrong. But yeah, there's so much going on here, and it's in this really animated style. Now, I'm loving this. This looks like potentially it's like the train station. So maybe we're going to be using trains in some way, shape, or form. A Heracross and a Pinsir in the background. I really like that detail because they do typically fight each other, which is actually pretty cool. And if you couldn't tell, this obviously, kind of the second I saw this design here, I was like, that is Lumiose City. Obviously, I think everyone knew that. But I find it really weird how it goes into this. I don't, like, this feels important. It reminds me of, like, Iron Man 2, where Tony is figuring out the new element. It's reminiscent of that. But is this potentially going to be, like, there's a redevelopment program? This is potentially, you're going to be unlocking parts of the city to redesign. You're going to be getting rid of Pokemon out of them. You know, this kind of does split off into 5 individual parts. Like the 5 individual components, and each of them does have a kind of central sort of design there with the circles. So perhaps that is something that is a plan going forward. But I think it's just really interesting. Perhaps Lumiose City Tower is going to be our base of operation, and kind of similar to how we have the 5 areas in Legends Arceus. Perhaps these are the 5 different areas, and perhaps we don't really venture out much, or maybe there's a post game we venture out into the wild even more. I don't know, but that just kind of seems like a really interesting idea off the top of my head. And the fact that it turns back into this, I do need to try and overlay these 2 images and see, is there any discrepancy between them? I mean, if you look immediately, you can see in those circles, those 5 circles surrounding the main area, they are now empty. So does that mean something? I think that definitely means something. I think these circles are being pointed out for a reason, and I think that is going to be something to do with probably not the Titan Pokemon. Were they Titan Pokemon? They weren't Titan Pokemon. I can't remember what they were called. But the Pokemon in Legends Arceus, I think that's going to be some kind of parallel to them, and that's going to be how they're going to design these specific areas. So at this point, they confirm it's Lumiose City. I mean, I think everyone that's played Gen 6 would have figured out that's Lumiose City from this point. I'm just going to turn it down a little bit because it's really loud in my ear. And this is just that stellar finish off now. Pokemon's Legends Z2A. I was about to say Legends Arceus. Z2A is what it's been designed as. Now the Z, the pattern in there, obviously is regarding to Zygarde. 100% that is obvious Zygarde. The A, I'm not so sure what that design is. That kind of potentially looks like a shiny Zygarde. I'm pretty sure it has that kind of coloration as a white and kind of really light green coloration, kind of cyan style. But I don't really know what this means. Obviously, the Z is means Zygarde. The 2A, I'm not really sure. And with this, like, it opens up a whole plethora of ideas that I have. Like, is this talking about Zygarde as the future, the A is the past, as in alphabetically going from A through to Z, as you would go kind of A at the beginning, Z at the end? So is this talk about, well, the fact that you're going back in time, that the Z's the future and you're going back to the past? I don't really know, but I just find this really, really interesting. this title has to mean something. I don't think it means Zygarde to Arceus, or Arceus, however you say it. I don't think that means that. It would be really cool to parallel the two games together and make this kind of intertwined story, but I just don't see them doing that because that would rely people on playing both games, which Pokemon's never done before. You never know, they could do it before, but you know, this is something interesting by itself. I think this A is going to be something new potentially. And then we've got a few more seconds here. Releasing simultaneously worldwide in 2025. I do wonder if it's going to be beginning of the year 2025, similar as how we had Legends Arceus. Was it last year or year? I think it was 2 years ago now. So I wonder if it's going to parallel that. It could be late in the year. I do feel like it could be either. I feel like if they're announcing it and with a title with that kind of it's not even game footage, so I suppose it could be November 2025, but I do have a feeling that it's going to be January 2025. Yeah, I am flabbergasted. I honestly did not think that we were going to see a Legends game. I thought that we would see maybe a mystery dungeon, considering the remake did quite well. But the fact that the Pokemon Company have obviously listened and been like, people love Legends. Like, I would say Legends is my favourite. I know lots of people that Legends was their favourite as well. And honestly, it sounds like the Pokemon Company have listened to what the fans want. I don't really want Gen 5 remakes yet. I think it's too soon. It makes sense for them to come in on the new system. It was kind of a soft reboot for Pokemon anyway, so actually that kind of falls into that quite nicely. But yeah, this is really, really interesting. So I'm just going to go back a little bit and just see if there's anything else I can kind of notice. So we're going to talk through this again. And with this architecture kind of design situation, it suggests to me that we are designing, that we are going to be helping create something. So perhaps we get the materials we collect are going to be used to build houses and stuff like that. It's just this is definitely an architecture design. This is what an architect would design and draw. And obviously we get Pikachu because Pikachu is the lifeblood. Now with this, like, there's immediately Pyro was there, and I think no, that isn't. It wasn't a Tyrant. It was a Pyro. It's just the way it looked like it was on kind of 2 feet, and yeah, no, that is my that's my fault. I shouldn't have said Tyrant there because it's not. But then we've got Pokemon that we've already identified there in a cafe. Hold on, wait. Those little ones down there look potentially like they're Staryus. That was really obvious now that I look at it again. In fact, you got that Hawlucha. I do just want to play this back ever so slightly. Just see what is happening. And they are throwing a ball there, but it doesn't seem to connect at all, which similarly seems to kind of hint towards... oh my god, I can't talk. Seems to hint towards kind of our throw mechanic again, because of the amount of times that I missed a Pokemon, like, geez. Also, that Pokemon that is kind of just underneath that little pier, I don't know what they're called. Can't think what they're called. But underneath where the person is standing, that definitely looks like it's a Krabby there as well. I don't think at this stage that we're going to see any regional forms. I think they will save that for later on. So all the Pokemon that we're seeing currently are mons that are definitely just going to be in the game as normal. Gyarados, I think Gyarados is a staple in most games anyways. And it looks like potentially there's a Magikarp just underneath it as well. Staryu on there. Let's see. I said about the Hippopotas. There's a Mulga there as well. So there is an Mulga. There's Go-Go on the other side. There's an Ekans on the bridge. And I think there was an Absol there as well. So let's just pause that again. Go through. There's a Fletchling. There is an Absol running down there in the very bottom right there. And there is Pikachu running across the bridge there as well. So there are tons and tons of Pokemon that are being revealed here. And also the fact that they seem to be represented by their types. Now, whether this is going to be a mechanic that is going to link in at all, but they do seem to be are they the colours of their body though? I don't know. I might be making a mistake there, but Emolga, the fact that it's yellow there when its back normally is kind of a black colour, that suggests to me something about typing, or perhaps it could be literally this is a ancient form of Emolga and they've already revealed it, but I really don't think that that's going to be the case. I think that's just a kind of to dignify it from the background. So in the back there, you've got what looks like a crocodile and a load of really small Pokemon around it. Maybe they look like Sandiles actually. And you've got an Aegislash, which I know people take the mick out of me for saying how the way I say it, and a Sylveon here as well. So we are seeing obviously the evolution that was introduced in that game. Now, as I said, there's the Pinsir and Heracross in the background there, brawling, which I think is really, really cool. Perhaps it is just based on the colour, because Pinsir is obviously a bug type, Heracross is not a water type, so yeah, I think it's just basing on the primary colour of that Pokemon, so yeah, that's probably where that's all coming. I think I can see there's a Bellsprout there as well, so there's definitely Bellsprout. You've then got Onix, obviously, in the background there as well. Is that a Vulpix that I've just seen? I'm not sure. Is that a Vulpix that's right there underneath the Fletchinder's wings, potentially? Or actually, that could be a Pancham. I don't know. The fact that it's moving so quick makes it quite difficult to be able to see. It also does look like there's a Pokemon in the building right on the right-hand side there, so that could be something else. There's also something red kind of up there in sort of the centre of the screen, which I'm not really sure what that is. You've got loads and loads of other Pokemon. I'm going to be having a look at this, and I'm going to be kind of commenting on all the different Pokemon that I'm able to identify, because there are tons of Pokemon in here. What is really, really pining my interest is the fact that we have got this shift between these two kind of styles. And I might have to take these out and put them into a transparency effect so I can see them on an overlay. But yeah, the fact that, you know, we do have some changes. And actually, some of these are different areas, are different colours. But you can see we lose the effects within those circles. So that's the big thing for me. I think those circles are involved somehow. They were something that was a bit confusing in the game. It was just like, well, why are these here in this style? Is it just a stylistic thing or what? But I do definitely think that our main hub is going to be the Lumio's Tower. Perhaps it's not going to be built up yet. So if we have a look, it is lit up there. And I don't know what the design essentially goes. I'm not sure. Perhaps that could literally just be a building there. It might not even be the tower, because it is obviously from a top view, and perhaps they're not wanting to give things away. But yeah, I'm finding this really, really interesting, to say the least. And the fact that it's Lumio City, we know that's all going on. And this ZA, I don't really know, honestly. There are so many questions that I have, and so many theories that I want to produce, but at the same time, I'm not going to bore you with all my ideas. I've already been boring you with going through this twice and being like, oh my god, there's a Pokemon, oh my god, that's a Pokemon, oh my god, that's a Pokemon. We all know these Pokemon, so yeah, I'm really excited for this game. This is probably the most hyped I've been for a Pokemon game in a while. Honestly, I am so excited. I'm hoping that we see Pokemon from later generations. Now, I don't think we've seen any Pokemon from Generation 7 or above in there. Obviously, we're guaranteed to get 3 different starters from different regions again. I think that, you know, it would be really interesting to see a Gen 8 starter at least. And then we'll probably see... God knows. God knows. I know there have been some predictions based on the 3 Pokemon that have been out recently in... Lost it. Recently in the... like the 7-star raids. So, yeah. I'm going to finish this up here. This is quite late for me, so I've been busy at work today. But thank you so much for watching. If you watched this all the way through, I really do appreciate it. I know I've been babbling, but this is my excitement showing, and I am really excited for this. Honestly, I wasn't bothered by anything else in the direct. I was just excited by this, so that's why I've just recorded this bit. But yeah, thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed this. If you have, please do like, subscribe, and comment. Let me know what you think about this, or what ideas that you have, because I really would love to hear what people are formulating and kind of discuss that with you in the comments. But yeah, I hope you had a good one, and I'll see you soon.